Let's take a moment and welcome our first guest today, representing episode opener SRP Project. Please join me in welcoming SRP electric vehicle lead, Catherine O'Brien. Catherine, welcome to Mesa Morning Live.
Hello, thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
It's great to have you here. Tell us a little bit about yourself, Catherine, and also how you ended up at SRP and where you are now.
Yeah, born, raised here in Phoenix, Arizona, so I am a native. Went to the University of Arizona and got a bachelor's degree in engineering mathematics. And luckily enough, after college, I got hired into a company that did contract work for SRP. So I did that for about 8 years, and then was lucky enough to get hired full-time into SRP, and I've been there for about 11, almost 12 years now, coming up on my 12-year anniversary. So I have been going through the gamut of multiple disciplines within SRP. I've done transmission distribution, a couple other things, and recently landed a lead position for our electric vehicle strategy. So yeah, it's kind of a weird title to have electric vehicle lead. I like to say I'm helping lead our electric vehicle strategy here at SRP. So that's a little bit about myself. I've husband, 2 kids, mother. You missed it earlier. I had my mother coworker coming into the office here and grabbing something and leave, but that's just part of this new telecommuting life, right?
That's awesome.
That's me.
That's awesome. Well, what's cool about it, if we were live at Crescent Crown right now, and you mentioned going to the U of A, there would have to be a pause break there because there'd be a lot of people clapping for the U of A and a lot of people booing their ASU fans. So this was much more. This is much more in the moment because we didn't have to do that. It didn't turn into a rally there. But we'll talk a little bit about.
It usually happens.
Exactly. Talk a little bit about the electric vehicle lead, your role. What's going on with SRP and the electric vehicles?
Yeah, well, SRP has our 2035 EV corporate goal, which ties in with our sustainability goals, which we're trying to enable 500,000 electric vehicles within our service territory, along with managing the charging of that. So there's a lot of stuff going into it. We have a lot of internal resources, internal stakeholders, departments that are really making up this key strategy for SRP. I get the luxury of leading it and dealing with all the different departments, making sure things are coordinated. If questions come up on what SRP is doing, I can try to answer that or get you to the right person who can. But we have a lot of stuff going on at SRP. Biggest thing right now is our customer programs business EV charging rebate. We had it before. Originally, we had it for, we're giving businesses $500,000, that'd be awesome. $500 per charging port. And we recently, with this new fiscal year, have upped it to $1,500. The only stipulation is what they call a network charger. So it has a little bit more technical stuff in it, a little bit more smarts and communication features. So that's just one of our big customer programs that we're doing right now at SRP.
That's awesome. So you're offering incentives for your customers to have that electric vehicle. Is that working? Roughly how many customers do you have that are taking advantage of that?
Just like most areas, we've had to kind of limit how many that we were going to do this year just because of budget constraints with the economic recession and stuff. But so far, I don't know if I can say the actual customer, but we do have one customer that's already going to be partaking in about 50 of those 50 spots of that rebate. And so that's really amazing. What's good about this is when we say it's a business charger rebate, it's not for any corporation specifically for workplace charging or for their or fleet charging. It also includes multi-unit family dwellings, apartment complexes that, customers want electric vehicles, but if they don't have a place to charge, it's kind of a turnoff. And range anxiety is the biggest key factor in holding back someone getting an electric vehicle. So we are offering it again, not just to businesses or corporations, but we're also including that to our multi-unit dwelling family locations as well.
That's great. Now, I heard, maybe this is a rumor, but I heard that you're going to offer your customers Teslas, that every customer is going to get a Tesla. Is there any truth to that?
I'll be the first one to get that.
Okay.
So once that happens, we'll start rolling out on the first come, first serve basis. But man, that would be wonderful if we could do that. That or the new Rivian R1T, R1S, their truck and SUV that they just, I just saw a clip of that yesterday. That it looks like they're going to be heading that out in, I want to say the first quarter of next year, but that looks nice. I'm a truck girl, so I would definitely go for the truck or the SUV that Rivian has.
Well, I think maybe as a way to help you work all the bugs out of the system, why don't you go ahead and get the first one, and I'll just, I'll take the second one, and we'll report to each other and work out the bugs on this.
Oh, works great for me. I don't mind that.
All right. What are the goals for the SRP program? Do you have long-term goals?
Our long-term goals, like I said, is to meet our 2035 goal of enabling 500,000 EVs within our service territory, along with doing managed charging. And to get that, we have a whole suite of we'll call them sectors, EV sectors that we're looking into. This includes businesses, residential. We have a fabulous person, Sharon Bonesteel, within our organization that's working with all the different municipalities on trying to get EV-ready home building codes set out and put in place. So we're working on that and working with public charging infrastructure. One of our goals is to work with some third-party vendors on putting in some infrastructure. We would like to test out a DC, a direct current fast charging station. We would like to find a spot within our service territory where we can put this charging station in, test it out, understand what it's like to be an owner, to own and operate this type of technology, because it's not just something where you have the equipment, you put it in and you go. There's a lot more into it. How is that interoperability of how a customer will pay for that? What are the actual installation costs and on top of the actual facility equipment costs? So that's something that we're looking into. And we're also wanting to find ways that we can serve the underserved communities. I think at the grand scheme of things, electric vehicles will really help in Arizona's overall air quality. We've seen it today with stay-at-home orders and telecommuting. The air quality has definitely gotten better here in the state. So that just goes to show how electric vehicles are really important. It's important to our air quality. It's important to health. And if we can help our underserved community in getting and having that availability of electric vehicles and have access to charging infrastructure, that will help us out as well. But those are just some of the things that we are looking into and part of our goals and objectives.
Okay, shifting gears a little bit here. I understand you're a fan of dance. Now, I don't know what that means. Maybe you can just kind of take that and run with it. And feel free to dance at any point if you'd like.
Okay, no problem. Well, I'll tell you, my dancing skills and story might not be as exciting as Will Novak's story from last year. But for about 10 years, I danced. I did jazz, tap, and ballet, and I absolutely loved it. to many different local competitions. The dance troupe I was in, we also went to national competitions. Most of them, for some reason, happened to be in Las Vegas. I don't know why, but
That's
they just
weird.
happened to be in Vegas. So it was really great as like 11, 12, 13-year-old going to Vegas and like seeing the big lights and glitter. And but it's always fun. I had so many different costumes and dances that I had that I didn't have to worry about what I was wearing for Halloween because I could just pick up a dance costume and that would be my Halloween costume. But no, just absolutely love dancing. Just my daughter did not get my moves at all. I feel sorry for her, but my son definitely has some dance moves. So I'm excited that I can at least pass something on down to one of my
Well,
kids.
that is awesome. I'm sure he's very happy with that. But well, that's a cool story and good to have that. You know, these crazy times, it's always good to have something to fall back on. You could go on So You Think You Could Dance and be, you know, like J-Lo.
Oh, most definitely. I have the body and skills and especially singing talent that she has to incorporate that. So, or I can, maybe just be one of the backup dancers. I'm good with that. I can be a
That's
backup
awesome.
dancer.
Well, from now on, I'll always refer to you as the Dancing Wildcat from SRP. So it's good to.
I love it.
Yeah,
I
there you
love
go.
it.
Well, I'm a little bit bummed out. Our time is up. I'm a little bummed. I'm not going to get out of here today with an electric vehicle, but that's something that we can work on down the road. So
Maybe that's something we can put into one of our objectives and goals is to make sure that you get an electric vehicle
okay, we've got this on
at some
tape.
time in the future.
We've got this videotaped, and I will follow up on that. So thank you so
Perfect.
much for taking time out of your day to be with us today, and keep up the good work at SRP.
All right. Thank you. It was
Thanks.
nice meeting you, and thank you for having me on.
Thanks, Catherine. Ladies and gentlemen, Catherine O'Brien, there you go.